Okay, so welcome back to the Northern Nerd Network. My name is Dan Schessel, and on today's edition of the Nerdcast, we have none other than Kelly. Kelly, can you say hi to everybody?
Hi, guys.
And Kelly is from the Edmonton Nerd List. You are the creator, founder, whatever you want to. I don't know how you want to put it. At
Founder works.
Founder works. All right, so. As you may have noticed, we are right now at the moment we are devoid of Chelsea. Chelsea will be joining us. Hopefully, she said she'll be here later. She will be joining us. So, for now, let's just get into how our week was. How was your week, Kelly?
It's been pretty busy. I mean, we had that cold spell, and things have really slowed down for everybody else, it seems. But I mean, I got to spend a lot of time outside, and then my daughter's been pretty active inside. I don't know where to start, really. But I mean, nerd-wise, it's been busy. There's been a lot going on.
Well, I know I've been getting at least 2 or 3 events from you a day, so there's definitely some stuff going on.
Every single day, it seems like there's not much room left on that calendar.
His definitely getting packed, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, just take a quick second to say that's an awesome calendar, by the way. I'm clicking on it at least once a day to make sure I don't miss anything.
Well, you are. I could absolutely not have done it without you, so I want to thank you right off the hop here for that.
No, it's been a nice way to work.
All right. So, anyways, like I said, we're just talking about our week. My weekend was we just had my birthday on the weekend, and so I had some people come over. If you guys have been watching the channel out there, I put up a couple of videos of us playing Artemis. Now, Artemis, if you guys have no idea what that is a spaceship bridge simulator. Now, essentially what that is basically you have one captain. You guys have let's say every person on the bridge has a role, and they all have to play their roles basically. So we have engineering, we have science, we have comms, we have helm, we have weapons, and everybody has to play their part and work together as a team to basically defeat the enemy. And if you at least tuned in a little bit at the beginning there, you will find out that we did not do very well. We actually did really poorly. We ended up in a minefield, and we destroyed ourselves pretty good. But you want to check that out because it's actually kind of funny to watch. So anyways, but we did get to play a few more rounds after that. But we did have some technical issues throughout the night, so some of it kind of lags or pauses, and so I might take the other videos down. But I'll leave the first Artemis one up. So other than that, it was a lot of fun. We had a great time. We did get to play another a board game as well, which was called oh shoot, I don't even remember what it was called right now. It was something to do with jobs. So you basically so what?
Fun Employed?
Yeah, Fun Employed. That's the one.
That's the new one. That's the new big one that you see at all the gaming stores now.
Yeah, that's it's actually quite a bit of fun. Basically what it is I would say an adult version. So like, please, if you have kids, don't play it with your kids. But it is definitely an adult game. And basically what it is you get a job that you have to basically send your resume out to, and you have a whole set of cards in front of you, and there's a stack on the table as well, and so you get to see what the job is, and then you can either trade out a card or whatever it is from the middle of the table to kind of like shore up your resume. And then once you actually have to like go apply for this job, you actually have to use every one of your cards that are in your hand to try and win yourself that position. And some of the jobs, like the positions that you had to do, I think one was like I had to do a motivational speaker. And so I ended up, talking to everybody. Like for myself, I had to talk everybody out of their porn collections, and then invite them all and get everybody into my van, my minivan. it was quite something. Like it was a lot of fun anyway. So that was my weekend. It was spent playing some games, and yeah, so it was a good time. So how about, that's all for you?
I guess it wasn't all busy. It wasn't all work. We did get our gaming session in last night, Sunday night, Dungeons and Dragons, and
Oh yeah, you were saying you were doing some D&D.
Yeah, we've got a gaming group that we've been playing with. Raj, Chris, Catherine, Marcin. I'm just throwing out all their names while I'm out here. Mike. Mike's an even bigger board gamer than probably Brian at the tabletop. But yeah, it was fun. I got to playing a dwarven monk this time. We'll see how that goes.
What's your standard character?
I kind of rotates a little bit, but Elven Archer was a big one for a while too. It's kind of stereotypical, but it goes on. I don't know. I was playing it before the movie came out, so.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, there was one other thing I did get to see. That there was that new show that's on Netflix right now. I just can't remember what it was called.
The one that just came out, or?
Yeah, it just came out here. Oh man.
Well, Netflix has a lot of great shows coming out lately. It's not like I'm for Netflix, but
well, they've got some. Oh, Shadow Hunters. That's what it was called.
Yeah.
Now,
Okay.
That's sort of how would I put it? I would say it's like in the same vein as Twilight and those kind of shows, like those kind of movies, or the Hunger Games, except for with vampires or demons and demon hunters. It took me a little bit to kind of figure out what the heck they were talking about, and it kind of did a lot of jumping around, especially during the first episode. I think they've only released one episode. They don't, for some reason, I don't know why they haven't released the whole series. Maybe it's just a new initiative that they're trying out to see if people will tune in every week to watch this show.
It could be a licensing thing too. They might be releasing it. I've heard very little about it. I saw an article on a local blog, My Fangirl Life.
Yeah,
talking about it, but I haven't. It could be a licensing thing. They could be releasing it on another network too, and they don't want to have everything available ahead of time on one and then not on the other.
Well, I think if you are some sort of nerdy girl or whatever, or even just you really like that kind of I don't know, teen kind of movie with a lot of pretty people in it, that would be the show that you'd be wanting to watch, because it was not that bad. Like after a little while, I kind of got into what they were actually doing in there, because it was kind of like I said, it was jumping around a lot at the beginning of the show, and I wasn't quite figuring out what was actually happening until sort of closer to the end. So I mean, overall, it was pretty good. I don't have too many issues with it. I might check out the next episode to see how it actually is.
I think season 2 of Daredevil is coming out, and that'll be my next binge watch. But
yeah, and then everything else will away.
There won't be any reason not to watch it, because all of my friends will be binging on it, and I will see red-eyed people at work all over again.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it works. All right. Well, let's just get into the news items for the night. shall we?
All right.
All right. Well, I'd like to have like I said, I'm gonna be working out on the next little while. Hopefully, I've tried for about 3 hours one night trying to get some music. I do have music for all this stuff, like all these transitions, but I don't have it quite yet. But anyways, let's just talk about your bathroom habits right now. All right. Let's go.
Now let's go into an easy subject. That's just hard-hitting news.
Yes. Tonight we have a toilet that uses absolutely no water and produces energy from human waste. This is actual real. Like, we checked this out. It actually is actual real. There's a toilet that they're producing or trying to make here that will I don't know, they're creating energy from this toilet.
Yeah, I'm reading the link that you sent me, and well, I mean, I understand how it works. It's one of those things that people are always a little hesitant to talk about, but energy is it's huge. You've got to produce it however you can, and if it's almost zero waste from what I understand, and it's clear. It's creating clean drinking water at the same time,
which is super gross.
Oh yeah,
but I mean, I can understand how something like this would be great for like in space or in so many different, like there's a lot of applications I'm sure that would
once the stigma's gone, you could put it in a bus, you could put it in an airline, or you could put it in an RV, you could put it just about anywhere, and then all of a sudden, instead of camping and having all this human waste that you're throwing out, you're just turning it into clean drinking water. Or just, if you don't feel like drinking it, you can water your lawn with it. You can do whatever you want with it.
Yeah, I can see watering the lawn or using it for something else.
I think it's the energy generating potential of it that I think people are going to seize on. Like
so if it's actually producing like electricity, then that's definitely a bonus right there.
I don't know how much more there is to say.
That's crazy. It's like, I don't know. They come up with the craziest things, and toilets that create energy is definitely one of the weirder things that we've found, and I just wanted to share that with everybody out there. But you know what else they're creating energy with? They're making smartphones now that can charge your phone from harvesting electricity from the air. So right now there's a Kickstarter that's coming out next month, and you will soon be able to buy an iPhone case that harvests electricity from just the air. And now this is being developed by a US-based technology startup, Nokia Labs. The new device will convert these ambient radio frequencies into power, boosting your phone charge up to 30% longer. Now, right now at the moment, my phone dies. I can't get it to last more than like a day. I can barely get mine to limp through the day. I don't know. How's your phone doing?
It's a little better. They had a battery replacement done on it, but reading the article there, I think the basic theory behind it is your phone's pumping out radio signals almost all the time anyway, even when you're not actually making a call, because it's got to stay in touch with its network. So what it's doing is when you're not making a call, it's using those outbound radio signals, and it's just charging your battery. So you'll get, I think the article said 30% more of a charge, or make your charge last 30% longer.
Yeah, it'll make it last 30% longer.
Yeah, it's almost like I don't know what to compare it to. It's like you're harnessing power from. It's like a hybrid when you're braking anyway. So you're taking that and you're turning it into energy. Everything's getting turned in. So no, it's a brilliant idea.
Now the question is, like, is that going to start interfering with your actual like signal on your phone?
I don't know. If it's a Kickstarter, I'm sure they're still working through a few bugs, but if your phone's not trying to receive anything, I don't know. It's something I'm not really qualified to tell you. But I mean, if the theory works, then yeah. I mean, if it's just,
I don't know. Like this is if they get to work, I might actually be backing this Kickstarter. Yeah. Anyways, last week we talked a little bit about some drones that were that were at the CES in January here. Now, the FAA has now authorized Terrafuga to test their flying cars. Now, I'm excited. I'd love to have a flying car. I don't know. It's been, when was it, like back in the 80s and 90s, they were huge. Like they were telling us that we were going to have flying cars by now.
I can remember seeing an article. I think I saw something on, might even have been Disney when I was 5 or 6 years old, and they had just a plane that you would take the wings off and then drive on the road. It's been a dream for, I mean, since people could fly, they've always wanted to be able to just drive their car and then fly with it at the same time. I mean, it's been around a long time, but it's got to be getting closer. I mean, we've pretty clearly got the technology for it, but I don't know how they're going to do it with the FAA. I don't know how. If once there's enough people that have these things, that's what I'm wondering about.
Well, that's just it. Like the licensing alone would be just absolutely a nightmare. And the airspace is just like, you got more space in the air, but these are actual like planes, like actual flying cars, right? Like I can understand sometimes like I like the idea of the drones were a lot more better to me, but like these are actual flying cars that they're actually testing out right now, and I mean, I guess that you could fly them somewhere, but where are you going to land these things?
I have no idea. It's going to get awful crowded up there. Somebody's going to have a very difficult time keeping track of the package carrying drones from Amazon and all the airline traffic that's already up there, and then people flying around with their cars and then flying around with whatever else they were going to be having. I think jetpacks are out there now too.
Yeah, there was a jetpack. Someone on I seen someone recently that had a really quite the jetpack that they were flying around in. It was pretty neat looking. Anyways, we're just gonna keep going. Usually I have Chelsea. Chelsea's usually a lot better at all this transition stuff and all the other, and on this end of it, but she is still at the moment stuck in traffic in Vancouver. So awesome. So we're going it alone for now, I guess. So anyways, we'll just keep moving on. We have the fans leave a touching memorial for Alan Rickman at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. Are you a fan of Harry Potter at all?
I've gotten to be a lot more of a fan. I can say that before I met my wife, it's not the biggest fan in the world, but I've certainly come to appreciate Harry Potter in the last little while. I think I've watched all the movies with her, and I haven't read all of the books with her since we started dating, but I've got to reread them.
Yeah.
They're actually pretty good books. It's taken me a lot of years to say that, and I tried to avoid them when they first came out, but they're well done. And Alan Rickman, especially in the movies, very well done. He's been in a lot of movies that I've loved over the years. I think the first one I can remember was Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves with Kevin Costner.
Oh, that's such a great movie.
I still quote him from that movie all the time. God, out with a spoon.
Oh, that's just beautiful.
Yeah.
So here's if people can actually see it on my my screen here. Here's the memorial. They it was yeah, very touching. Anyways, platform 9 3/4. Yeah. So anyways, they're I've never really gotten into the Harry Potter scene. Uh, I don't know. It's just one of those things where I was either too old for it or whatever. And I have two boys at the moment, right? So I don't really I haven't been able to read them any of the books yet. So they're not old enough yet. So I don't know. It's one of those things I haven't got around to at the moment. I'm sure it's on its way though.
There's so much out there. You have no idea what they're going to be interested in, but Harry Potter is a pretty safe bet.
Oh yeah, for sure it is. All right. Well, this week on the Nerdcast, we have Kelly, who is from the Edmonton Nerd List. Now, we're just gonna move into the next section, I guess, which is what is the Nerd List? What are people? What are they gonna find when they come to your website?
The idea is it's a phone book for nerds. It's a list of everything nerdy in Edmonton. So, I mean, it's not a book, and there's no phone numbers, obviously, but the idea is the same. You want to have a comprehensive list of anything and everything nerdy there is local. So, I mean, I'll go as far north as Morinville, as far south as a place called Millet, just south of Leduc. As far west is Spruce Grove, Stony Plain, and then Sherwood Park to the east. So it's kind of Edmonton in area.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm turning into a collector of links. So it's a list of things that I don't have enough time to go to or enough money to spend on, but I still want them to be there for when I do have enough time and enough money. And it started pretty innocently. There's a convention here in town called Intrigue Con, run by Hodges from company or Hazard Gaming, and I think I've gone to the convention 3 years in a row now, and in the lead up to the last one, and I kept sending him all the links to all the stores. Okay, this you got to put some flyers here. You got to talk to these people. You got to talk to these people, and oh screw it, I'll make you a list. And that was when the first idea of putting a list together started. And then in the course of doing that, I started talking to friends and saying, okay, well, have you heard of this place, and this place? Okay, well, Macbeth Comics is opening up downstairs at this place, and Taps for Effect is opening over here. And, well, what about this? And then I just started a Facebook page and invited all my friends, and then it just kind of snowballed from there.
Mm-hmm.
And added more category after category after category, and just finding one link led to another. It just branched out. There's a huge spider web of nerdity in this town. It's just unbelievable what there is out there.
So how do you find all these people? Like, you got obviously the biggest list I've ever seen for this area. Where do you go? How do you find these things?
Well, it started on Facebook, and as you know, people are going to have mixed reactions on Facebook, but when you like certain things, the algorithms that Facebook uses will analyze what you like and start recommending other places to you. So I liked all the local comic book stores in the first place, and then because those were my only local links, it would rotate through and show me more local links. So I found out about Variant Edition reasonably early, and Macbeth Comics reasonably early, and Taps for Effect, and then the Gamers Lodge, which hasn't even opened yet. But the more, and then you would kind of branch out from there. So you'd find, okay, well, as soon as you start deciding to like one thing from a different category, it'll show you another one. And because if all of your links are regional, if they're Edmonton based, they'll start showing you more and more and more. So Facebook was really what started it. Just kept showing me more, and I'd be rubbing my eyes and looking at the clock. 3 hours? I've been at this for 3 hours already. It's ridiculous. I think I found a collecting hobby that doesn't really cost me any money, and it's useful to other people. And I'm a huge fan of the local nerd scene. And I don't know who to start with. There's so much stuff in Edmonton. There's a guy named Mike Kendrick, Art and Design.
Yeah, yep.
You've heard of him?
Yeah, I've heard of Mike.
Yeah, he's mashing up Disney princesses with pro wrestlers, and I think that's hilarious. I don't know who to bring that up in conversation with other than you, but if you haven't seen Aurora dressed as the Ultimate Warrior, it's hilarious.
He did another like Disney princess one, didn't he? At one point.
Right, Mike Kendrick.
Yeah, I think so.
He's done a whole series of them.
Yeah.
And I don't know. There's so much stuff out there. I mean, and people have been really appreciative of it too. I mean, I'm just a local guy that's putting up a list, but every time I link to somebody or put them on the website, they're, oh, thank you. I don't know that I have that much reach or influence, but people like being recognized and they like having something to go to.
Oh yeah, for sure. And like I said, like for us, it's been such an invaluable resource just to find people, to see what's actually out there. And even for myself, like I've tried to keep up on as much as I possibly can, but there's just no way I can keep up on that. And every day, like you said, I said earlier, you send me at least 2 to 3 new events that I'm like, I have no idea that these were going to happen. Or I would be looking at something, and you'd email me or the next day, be like, oh yeah, this is up now. I was just on there yesterday.
Well, the key is to be really obsessive about it and don't stop refreshing your Facebook messages. Just ignore everything else in the world and just keep. Yeah, okay, that sounded a little bad, but I get a little out of touch with worldwide news lately. But it's hard to stop, and thankfully, my wife Kaylee, she's been very supportive of me in this, and my daughter Anna, and it's been great. I actually have a couple of people sponsoring us now, and people that I found through the Nerd List, and I'll bring them up just in conversation because Taps for Effect opened in November.
Yep.
And there was a guy named Nathan. He followed me pretty much from the early going, and he found out about the stores opening right at about 3 p.m. Or he found that they were going to open at 3 p.m. And right when they opened, he was waiting to get inside. So Taps for Effect, Craig Sherburne, actually credits me with their very first sale. So I feel that's the most awesome thing. Like, I love that.
How much do you feel like that you really contributed to the community as a whole? Like something like this is like I said, invaluable to a lot of people out there, right? And I know personally, like I said, like I want to thank you for sure. Like it's been amazing to see.
Well, it's nice to know because everybody's got such insulated little hobbies sometimes, and I mean it's gotten better with Facebook and everything, but even Facebook won't show you everything all in one go. You want to find something, but maybe you don't see it right away. You're depending on somebody else to kind of tell you about it still. But if now there's one place at least that you can go to and you can find, all right, okay, I play Firestorm Armada. Okay, there's stores that are letting me play it. Okay, there's a Facebook group that's already in existence. I can join up there. Okay, there's a tournament for it on the Northern Nerds calendar. Okay, this is awesome.
Sorry, there's a lot more. Yeah, thanks. There's a lot more things that are going on in the city that we are more aware of, anyways. That's for sure. And nowadays, now we get a little bit more. I don't know how you say it. There's more resources out there now than there ever has been, and we're living in a pretty good time.
Well, it's if you like one thing on the list, you're going to like at least one or two other things too. And then you start branching out. Actually, I've got a friend named Mike. He's actually got a little mad at me at one point because he's got too many hobbies and not enough time now. He's gotten back into Warhammer, War Machine, and all these other games that he doesn't really have time to play. But they're out there and it's really accessible and people know about it. And you're connecting different groups of people. You're not alone anymore. You don't have to miss anything anymore, I guess is what I'm getting at.
So the last little while, how have you been receiving, you've gotten quite a bit of attention from a lot of people in the last little while. How do you feel that about all that?
It takes a little bit of getting used to. Like I've never been interviewed for anything since maybe the science fair in grade 6. It's actually, my place burned down once about 15 years ago, and I got a newspaper article for that, but that's about it. I mean, it's not something that, I'm a stereotypical nerd. It's not like I get out very much and practice my social skills. I think maybe 4 or 5 people I've actually talked to in real life that had actually heard of what I was doing. So it takes a little bit of getting used to. Not everybody's as comfortable in front of the camera as some people.
Yeah, see, and a lot of times I may look comfortable in front of the camera. I have what's it called? Anxiety issues as well. That I take about an hour, 45 minutes before I can even start talking to people. And usually my wife has to actually talk me into actually going out there and doing that. We have a contributor that is asking a question or placing a comment anyways. He said he's sorry about your house burning down. His burnt down the same year apparently. Which is
burned down in 2001.
How's it burning down?
2001 was a pretty bad year for a lot of people.
Yeah, well, 2001 was, I think, one of my worst years, just financially. It was a terrible year. Yeah, it was not a fun year. I don't remember 2001 being a good year.
No, and we could probably...
I can forget 2001 pretty easily. Anyways,
yeah, no, I kind of sidetracked there, but yes. Appreciating him feel bad for me, but everything happened for a reason.
Sorry. Where do you think the list is going to go? Like, what do you have plans for in the future?
Well, I've got a few ideas there, but it's still kind of forming up. I mean, I've got a couple of sponsors so far, but somebody and I got to bring them up again. The Geeky Realtor, who, if you've ever seen their webpage, it's they have the best business card I've ever seen from Realtor. It's an 8-bit logo, and there's a daytime one and a nighttime one, and the zombies come out at night. It's that's nice. Great. They're a couple. I think they're a couple of cosplayers that are pretty big into the scene too, and they found me pretty quick too.
Nice. So you're not going to divulge any plans.
I'll tell you a couple of things. Like, I do want to add a few more sections. I'm not done yet. That's the problem. It's hard to move on from what you're doing until you've got everything. I mean, we've got a sci-fi and fantasy authors section that we just started up, and I'm thinking about maybe expanding that to a few other things. And then we're going to do a section on pro gamers, which I haven't really talked to too many people about, but there's a lot of them in Edmonton, and I don't really want to launch it until I get everybody. I mean, there's a lot of them out there, and I want to reclassify things. The media section especially is getting overgrown with stuff. I want to give people a little better focus. And then there's a couple of other things that I've just been bouncing around in my head that it's too early to put out there. Don't worry, you will be the first person to know outside of my wife and daughter. But there's a lot of things. It's taken off, but we'll see where it goes.
Well, like I said, if people haven't really kind of figured out, uh, working like I don't know how to say part. I like I.
That's all
Sorry,
right.
I totally lost all my words there.
That's all right.
For the last little while, I don't know if anyone actually out there has any actual real good idea. For the last little while, we've actually partnered up together, sort of say, anyways, with coming up with the events, and you've been so gracious to us, giving us information on a lot of things, and uh, I hope we've helped you out some
Yeah,
ways. I'm not sure
you
how.
certainly have. I mean, I'm a big fan. I'll be the first person to say that. I'm a big fan of what you do. I mean, we have the same goal, and it's to highlight the local nerd scene. And I don't have the ability to get out there and put people in front of the camera or the background or the technical skills. And frankly, I don't have a lot of time. I'm getting up at about 4:30 in the morning, like everybody else in this town, and trying to put a post or two up, schedule whenever I can, and get just maybe a post a day on Facebook, a couple of Twitter messages, and maybe a post every day or two up on the website. It's hard to get all that information out there, and I had wanted to put a calendar together, but there just wasn't the time. And I didn't mind you beating me to it. I really it's like, just here, take everything. It's yours.
Yeah, well, that calendar, the way I've got it set up right now, it seems to be, uh, it's a matter of me actually plugging everything in. Uh, I've got it down to a science now.
Well, the thing I
You do
like
that.
about
You do it enough times.
the thing I like about it is it's not leaving anybody out. It's not like we're not excluding anybody. If somebody wants to be added to the list, I'll make a section. I don't mind if it's nerdy. I have no issues with putting it up there. I haven't turned anybody away yet. I'm actually starting to get people wanting to be listed, and like most times it's like, why didn't I think of that? How come I didn't know about you already? I get a little annoyed that I didn't know.
Hey guys.
Here's Chelsea.
Hi.
We are
Chelsea.
just about we were like all the way through our interview here. You're that's it. Now we're done.
Oh.
Do you have any questions for our guest today?
Well, Kelly, you run the nerd list, is that right?
Yes.
Well, I take it, Dan, you've probably asked him a bunch of questions already,
I
yes?
have.
We've been going back and forth for a little bit. But.
Well, I don't know if Dan's already asked this or not, but where did the impetus for the nerd list come from? How did things get started? What prompted you to compile all the awesomeness that goes on to it?
Well, it started out very briefly. There's a convention in town for role-playing gamers called IntrigueCon, and I'm a huge role-playing game guy. I love the idea. I love what Daniel has been doing with it. Daniel from Hazard Gaming's been doing with it, and I don't know why. I had this real need for it to succeed. I really wanted it to do well, and I think it's doubled every year. I think the first year it had maybe 20 or 30, I think 30 people, and then it got up to about 50 or 60, and now I think that last time they had over 100 people, and it turned into a 3-day event, and who knows what the next year is going to bring. But in the lead up to the third year of it, I kept sending him annoying messages. Well, have you put flyers up here? Have you contacted these people? Oh, there's a new store opening. You got to go here. And I said, okay, screw it. I'll make you a list for next year. And that's the first, like I was saying earlier, that's the first time that I actually called it a list. Before that, it was just kind of an idea kicking around in my head. But at that point, that's when I started actually calling it a list. And then I put up a Facebook page, and there was some interest, and then I started a website, and then a Twitter account, and making regular posts on everything. It's been I don't know, I guess the term is cart before the horse the whole way. Okay, this is a random idea. Let's see what I can do with it. And then, okay, I'll refine it a little bit. Okay, all right, maybe there's a better way to do it. It's not like I had a 5-year business plan. It's just it was a nonsense idea that kind of turned into something.
Aaron wants to know what is on your shelf behind you. He recognizes the Devastator, Optimus Prime, and either Jeffrey or Macross Valkyrie.
Well, short form is it's all the Transformers toys I had when I was younger. So yeah, Devastator, Megatron, Soundwave. I mean, all the Decepticons on the right, and more or less all of the Autobots on the left. Kind of turned it away from there because the glare was a little bad from the lighting. But yeah, I was a huge Transformers guy growing up, and once I got everything back from my parents' house and we moved into this house, okay, I'm going to be a nerd and I'm going to put up all of my childhood toys up on the shelf.
Awesome.
I get this one specific room, and that is it.
It's
This
a
is
pretty
like-
impressive room, though. Your like all of the display wall you have for all of your X-wing stuff. It's pretty fancy.
The X-wing collection is like I can't put everything up. There's a whole bunch of boxes right here that are all filled with X-wing stuff, and I got all my X-wing here. I also got a whole bunch of them sitting up there. I have a little bit of an X-wing problem.
If you don't have a problem, you're not a real nerd.
I know. That's exactly it, right? But anyways, I want to know, Kelly, what is your weakness? What is like one of the things that you're right into? I want to know what makes you the biggest nerd.
Dungeons and Dragons, by far. I mean, I don't know. I started playing it when I was, I think, 7 years old. My mom bought me the red box, the D&D basic set, and then I just kept collecting it over and over. I just kept getting more and more and more, and then it's kind of a sad story. At one point, I traded it all away for some, well, not magic beans, but I traded it all away for, I think, $150, $200 to a friend of mine, and just to go buy something else that I was into at the time, and then I regretted it. And it's kind of an odd story, but I got it all back. I think maybe 6-7 months ago, and I haven't looked back. I got into the 5th edition set, and I was playing 4th edition Dungeons and Dragons for a little while, and then Pathfinder, which uses the open gaming license from 3.5 more or less. And
Is there a particular race or class that you're really digging in terms of building characters right now?
I'm playing a monk right now, which is it was on my list to try out, and it's like very much a kung fu style,
Awesome.
open-handed, and which I'd never played in Dungeons and Dragons before, but it's been fun getting back in. You have to have everybody has to have some kind of a creative outlet. And apart from getting up on stage and doing it, where else are you going to pretend? Where else are you going to act out a character like that? I mean, not everybody can be YEG D&D. There's another shout out that I've been meaning to get in, but YEG D&D Improv Edition. They're some of my favorite people out there, and I don't know. It's right up my alley. It's Dungeons and Dragons is my. It's a very classic nerdy thing, but. Hopefully that answers your question.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, I think that.
Well, I've got.
Oh, you have one more question? Go for it.
Yeah, I do. Okay. So I mean, I know Dan and I look to your list to keep our fingers on the pulse of nerdy things happening. How do you keep your pulse on everything that's going on? Where do you get all your info for the list? Who are your contacts? I guess this is a good shout out segment. Some people that you really think are awesome and doing some great things.
Well, there's definitely a few places in town that have a huge variety of events, and it radiates out from the local comic and gaming stores. That's where it starts. I mean, you have the conventions and the tournaments and the shows that happen once or twice or 3 or 4 times a year, but the stuff that's always there, the physical brick and mortar locations, that's where you start. I mean, a place like Variant Edition and Happy Harbor and Avalon Nights and Red Claw Gaming and Mission Fun and Games, I mean, guys that have I mean, stores that have a Tapster effect, like just people that have a huge variety of stuff that's always going on. I'm not well, I guess I am piggybacking off of what they're already doing, but they're getting the word out about events in their area and their networks already. All I'm doing is checking their sites, following along with them, and then like the Facebook algorithms for what you like will tell you more about what Facebook thinks you like, and they don't always get it right. But I mean, you can look at events in your network and you can find stuff there, and then the way that my Facebook right now is slanted, everything is local, nerdy, and Edmonton, and Facebook is finding a lot of stuff for me, and then I'll go through and certain groups will have Edmonton Cosplayers is a huge one. Lady Geeks United is another one. I'm trying to think of all of them. There's a lot of really active groups in this town that have a lot going on. Pathfinder Society is a huge juggernaut in this town for role-playing games, and they're following everything. I mean, it depends. There's one or two good places to go where you can follow everything that's going on. Edmonton War Machine is huge right now. I mean, you can find, if you can separate it into categories, there's at least one or two good sites, stores, groups that you can go to and see all of it.
Awesome. And get to know your neighborhood comic book store.
Especially that, because they're the beating hearts of the nerd community, and if you don't have a local store, I mean, all you have is just, I mean, you have a list online of very little, really. I mean, you're getting support from local stores. We wouldn't be where we are in Edmonton with the thriving nerd community without them.
That's true. Awesome. I think that's off the top of my head. I don't know if I have anything else. I know I jumped in late, but...
It's all right. Your traffic's pretty bad today.
Yeah, well, it's all right. Anyways, I wanted to just, make mention of a few events that are coming up. We talked about the event page on the Northern Nerd Network website. And if you guys want to go and find out those events, it's right there, so go check them out. But I want to just make mention of a few, highlight a couple that I think are worth checking out for you guys. Dark Matters at the Tellus World of Science, that is coming up on January 21st. So go check that out. So what?
We just got our membership.
Did you?
Nice.
Oh, I love that place. But
it's amazing. They have that Rubik's on right now, don't they?
Yeah, we went to go see it. You have to stop in and check it out. It's a lot more than just people playing with Rubik's cubes. It qualifies as nerdy.
Yeah. What's his name from Lightsabers? Who's Mackie?
Oh, Alex. Yeah, he's a huge Rubik's Cube guy. I think I haven't chatted with him since the summer, but I think he was working on all kinds of personal bests for, like, as fast as he can do it, blindfolded, particular types of cube solving. But yeah, he's got all kinds of crazy records. And
I watched him do it blindfold. I was just absolutely floored by it.
Yeah, Mackie's pretty awesome at the Rubik's Cube.
Yeah. Anyways, shout out for Mackie. Mackie's awesome.
Yes.
Also, one of my son's favorite persons in the whole entire universe.
Yeah, well, he handles, so Alex D. Mackey, our good friend who assists Janine at the lightsaber classes, he wrangles all of the children and does the children's side of the lightsaber classes. Yeah, he's pretty awesome. He's good stuff. So, yay, Mackey.
Anyways, continuing on with our events, we have a Taste of Animathon that's coming up on January 22nd, and that's at the Shaw Conference Center. Then we got the Classic Video Game Championships that I want to make mention as well, and that's on February 7th. And then on February 1st, go back a little bit, we got the Classic Video Game Championships host, or the people who run the event. They're going to be on our show to talk about the Classic Video Game Championships.
Hooray!
Yeah, huzzah! That was just I just got the email today, so we're good to go with that one. And if we go back another week to next week, which is January 25th, we got another Nerdcast. So make sure you guys out there check that out. We are going to be talking with LGN, Lady Geeks United. So that is going to be awesome. I'm just in the middle of trying to get them all worked out and get them all on the show on that day. So stick around. We got lots of awesome things coming up in the next little while on the Nerdcast. And then, of course, I want to make, I know it's quite a ways away, but Gobfest is one of our favorite board game conventions in the city. So I want to make mention of them again.
Always
and they have
a good time.
Yes, they're it's so much fun. And they have their registrations open at the moment, so go and check those guys out. And not only that, two more quick mentions: Edmonton Toy Show, Collecticon, February 28th, and Pop Culture Fair on March 13th. That's it. That's all. That's all the plugs I'm doing for the night. Kelly,
Yes.
where can people find you on the web?
All
Wherever.
of the places.
All over.
We hear you're all over the web. So where? Everywhere. We want to know them all.
We're on Facebook at Edmonton Nerdlist, and we are on the internet at edmontonnerdlist.com, and we're on Twitter at YEG Nerdlist.
Woohoo!
So you can
Awesome.
tune into Twitter for every single last update that I'm doing at 4:30 in the morning, and see it ahead of the game before I put it up on Facebook. You can look on Facebook, usually at noon and about 4 p.m. I'll post twice a day, and then you can see just a feature on the website. Not quite daily, but it's getting there. And then you can check out the list in and of itself at edmontonnerdlist.com. Just click on one of the links, and hopefully you find something you like.
Awesome. Once again, I want to thank you so much for the Nerd List. It has been absolutely incredible to go there and check out. It's sort of overwhelming, really, when you go there, because there's so much to see and do in this city, and it's like, wow, I didn't realize that there was that much here.
There's even more coming.
That's amazing. So,
Dan, where can our loyal listeners and viewers find us on the web?
say what? We are on YouTube, apparently.
What?
I know, it's so weird. But yes, you guys can find us on YouTube at youtube.com/Northern Nerd Network. You guys can also find us on northernnerdnetwork.com.
The beautiful website that Daniel made. So
With
talented.
an incredible calendar of events, I might add.
With a huge calendar of events that is mainly supplied by the Nerd List man himself, Kelly.
Yeah.
I just do a lot of inputting on that thing. And like I said, we are adding events every single day, and we're trying our best to keep up with everything that's going on in the city.
And, of course, people can tweet at you, and you will tweet back, right, Dan?
Always, we are at Northern_Network on Twitter, and on Facebook, we are at facebook.com/NorthernNerd. That is it. That is all. I want to thank everybody out there for watching this edition of the Nerdcast, and I'll see you guys on the next one.
Bye!
Thanks, Kelly.